So you don't know where to fish, and you don't even know who to sell the fish to. Lucky for you, you came upon the best video to learn how to fish. But before we do that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and let's get on with the video. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is redeem some code, and they're gonna give some really cool baits, and I'll put these codes in the description below, so check them out too. Now, after you redeem the codes, you'll get some truffle worms, but save them for the captain's goldfish. But before we get to that, let's give you a brief explanation on what each stat in the fishing rod does. Lure speed is how fast you're gonna catch a fish. That means since I'm using a steady rod which has a minus 60% lure speed, I'm gonna be catching 60% slower than most rods. And luck is obviously the higher it is, the better fish you can catch. While control is how big the white bar is gonna be when you're trying to catch a fish. While resilience is how much the fish is gonna be moving around the bar. Now once you have caught your fish, go to this guy called the merchant. Now there is gonna be one merchant in every island, so go to this guy and sell all your fish. But keep in mind that most of your fish like the legendary, mythic, and the exotic fish won't be sold unless you go to the menu and enable auto selling. Now the one thing that the players miss out on is the baits in the game. Most fishes have their own preferred bait, so when you're using a bait that has a preferred lug, you're actually wasting that bait because that fish is not even attracted to that bait. But when you're using a universal lug bait, it affects every fish in the game. So keep that in mind when you're selecting a bait to fish with. Now I don't recommend you to buy the bait craze right now because you need to gather up money to buy a better rod. Now either you save $2,000 and buy the carbon rod, or you can go to the next island and buy the steady rod. Now to go to the next island, you're gonna need to be level 5 and talk to this guy called the shipwright, where you can scroll down and buy the rowboat for $700. Once you have that, you just need to go straight ahead from Moosewood and you will reach Roselit Bay. Now when you get to Roselit Bay, you may have skipped buying carbon rod, but don't worry, you don't need to actually buy carbon rod. You just need to farm pufferfish over here, and their main preferred bait is a seaweed, and it's pretty easy to get when you buy some bait crate. You only need one pufferfish, and once you have caught your pufferfish, you can follow the path that I'm going in right now inside the mountain. Once you're inside the volcano, you need to do some weird ass obby and you will get to your destination. Once you're right outside this corridor over here, on the right side there should be an orc, and that orc requires a pufferfish, and once you do give him the pufferfish, he will give you the magma rod. Now this rod is much better than the carbon rod because it allows you to catch the manta ray, which goes for around $2,000 to $4,000 at a time. Keep in mind that the manta ray only appears at night, so you can use a nocturnal rod instead of the magma rod if you do have the money to buy it, and you can farm the manta ray. Now to find the nocturnal rod, you just need to enter a whirlpool like this. As you can see, there are two whirlpools. One of them is this one which can kill you, and the other is this one over here. You just need to go here and then just jump on the whirlpool and you should be teleported to Vertigo. Once you're inside Vertigo, you can go ahead and turn to the right next to this shopkeeper over here, and you can find the nocturnal rod for $11,000. Now this rod doesn't have any resilience or control compared to the steady rod, but it is good for catching manta ray at night or in daytime. You can also find the aurora rod over here for $90,000, but I recommend you to not buy it and save up for a trident instead. Now the best place to catch the manta ray is right here in Roselit Bay. Now farming here for about 5 minutes, I managed to earn about $2,200. Now you can switch between this island and another one that is quite close to Roselit Bay, and that would be right on the right side, and it's called Forsaken Shores. You can switch between daytime you fish in Forsaken Shore and nighttime you fish in Roselit Bay. Once you reach Forsaken Shore, you can just go ahead and follow this path and you will find a pond right under a waterfall. You are solely here to farm the captain's goldfish, and it spawns during the daytime, and its bait is the truffle worm. And even though it's a mythical fish, it's very easy to catch and you can sell it for a lot of dollars. Now I've told you about two rods that you can get for your mid game, but there's actually one rod that is still missing, and that is the sunken rod. You're gonna need a treasure map and the GPS on the chair near the pond in Moosewood. You're also gonna need a lot of luck because it has a very low chance of dropping from a treasure chest. Now for your first endgame rod, you can go to Statue of Sovereignty, enter the cave, and talk to the elevator guy. Now this is also the place where you can enchant your rods, right over there. But you're not here for that, you're here for your late game rod, and that is the King's Rod. This is the King's Rod for $120,000. This is an okay rod, but if you just collect 30,000 more, you can buy the Trident Rod, and it is much better than the King's Rod. The Trident Rod is also very hard to get, and that is why I will show you how to get the Trident Rod the safest way. Your first job is to go back to Moosewood and go to the lighthouse where you find the lighthouse keeper. You can buy any lantern and it will automatically equip to your character. Once you have gotten your lantern, head over to Sunstone Island. So before you head over to the Desolate Deep, you need to make Sunstone Island your spawn point, and also you need to have around $230,000 because you need to buy 5 enchant relics from Merlin, and then if you do die going down the deep, you will lose about $2,000, so you need to have at least that much money. After that, you need to head over behind the Sunstone Island till you see a buoy. Near the buoy, you can also purchase the advanced diving gear, which is essential for going to the Desolate Deep. Once you're at the bottom, swim around till you see the stop sign and turn right. Now swim as low as you can because you'll be able to see the chains that hold up the bombs. Yes, there are bombs underwater, so you need to be careful when you swim to the Desolate Deep. And yes, there are bombs underwater, but it's pretty easy to avoid them. And once you have reached the Desolate Deep, you need to find a platform that stretches out just like this one. Now all you need to do is swim down and go straight ahead, and you will find a tiny little hole where you can go through, and then you will find the trident door. And just like I mentioned, you need 5 enchant relics, so whatever relics you get while fishing, don't sell them. And that is all for now. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also join my Discord because I'll be hosting a private server luck boost soon, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.